Alright there folks, back again for another video. In this one we're going to be talking about the recent news about what's happening with the model ranges and stuff for Warhammer Age of Sigmar and some of the new miniatures that are going to be coming out as well for the game. Over the last couple of weeks, or over the last week or so I suppose, we got a look at the new style Liberators. If you'd played Realms of Ruin, for example, recently, then you'll probably have already seen this coming, I guess, in the way that they designed their particular models for that game. But the Liberators are getting a fresh new look, wearing the new Thunderstrike armor, as you can see here. Still rocking the hammer and shield. Make sure to go and check out the previous video about my thoughts on hammers and shields in general. But there we go. And with a brand new helmet to match, which a lot of people have been sharing memes of Squidward for. In general, though, really like the new design. I think it's a really nice way of presenting the Liberators. It sort of removes a little bit of that weird chunkiness that the old models had, makes them a lot easier to paint as well. It's pretty much all metal at this point, and that's all you need to worry about, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're starting out for the first time with a game. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the helmets, and I kind of wish that they'd done that old school helmet with the new suit of armor, or maybe just something similar to what we see for things like the Vindictors and stuff. I think it's just that it looks a little bit odd comparatively, and I still quite like the kind of Baroque look of the old helmets, and that could have been nice to see that carried through into what we saw on the new Liberators. In general, though, really like the new Thunderstrike look. I think it works really nicely with some of the models we've already seen for the game, and it's good to see that that's carried through into the new design as well. This is obviously going to be a lot of a lot of ways for people to sort of replace what exists out there in their collections, or take things in different directions when it comes to collecting Stormcast Eternals. Now, this then led into an interesting post last week about what's leaving the Warhammer Age of Sigmar range, and as somebody who has been collecting Stormcast Eternals since the very first edition of the game, when it wasn't even really that much of a war game, I suppose, I have quite a lot of stuff that is getting replaced. Celestar Ballistas, they're going. All of the stuff from 2nd edition is out, and doesn't look like it's getting replaced anytime soon. A lot of the characters from the first version of the Stormcast are also going, including a lot of the stuff that came through as part of things like the Soul Wars and stuff. From my particular point of view, Paladins, Judicators, Liberators and Prosecutors, all going, but effectively probably going to get replacements as well. Prosecutors, Liberators and Judicators undoubtedly going to get themselves Thunderstrike variants. We've already seen that obviously for the Liberators. Paladins, are they just going to get replaced by Annihilators just wholesale, or are we going to see a variant perhaps of the Paladins but in the Thunderstrike armor? We shall have to wait and see. A lot of particular characters are also going as well, so characters like Astrea Soulbright, Aventus Firestrike, the Master of the Sacrosanct, the Errant Questor, Garviel, Sherheart and Varus Starstrike. You've served so well during the Soul Wars, but there we go. They are all going to be missing from the range from now on, which is interesting, obviously. A lot of these are going to get a free battle tome and therefore war scrolls to carry them through into 2025, but from that point onwards these are going to be gone, and effectively not usable in their particular form moving into competitive play in the next year or so. As people have pointed out, there's no reason why you can't use these to represent something else in your army. Because of the fact that all of these things are pretty much armed with the same things again when it comes to the new edition, your Liberators, your old Liberators can represent new Liberators. Your old Judicators can represent new ones. Your Prosecutors can represent new ones. If you have somebody who's running a tournament and they're a nice person, these are going to all be useful in your games, which is great, obviously, when it comes to playing the game. Obviously, a lot of the stuff, like your Sequitors and your Evocators and stuff like that, they might be slightly harder for you to sort of include as part of your army, but it will be interesting to see what people do and sort of where they take them going forward into the future. Interestingly, things like Knight Questors, still a thing in the game, so I can still rock around with him. The Lord Relictor is still a thing as well. probably because of things like Owen's Cryptborn and stuff, so they're sticking around, which is always nice to see. The Skaven are getting a massive overhaul of stuff. I didn't think that the Clan Rats were necessarily that bad model-wise, but they are going to get replaced with a new kit, alongside a lot of old kits that have been so needing an upgrade. Those Gutter Runners have been around for a very, very long time, and they really needed to be changed. A lot of characters as well are also getting an update as well. Interestingly, regular Plague Monks seem to be staying, which is quirky, I suppose. But things like the Plague Priest, the old character and stuff, and the Censer Bearers are going to be replaced with something new in the future. So if you are somebody who liked this particular old look of a Skaven, make sure to get your models ahead of time. But yes, lots of new stuff coming for the Skaven in the near future. We are, however, going to be losing a whole bunch of stuff wholesale. Bone Splitters as a sub-faction are going from the Orruk War clans. They are completely being taken out of the Mortal Realms, and probably going to be getting their square bases back and being used as part of Warhammer the Old World. The same goes for the Beasts of Chaos. They are all going away, including the relatively new Beast of Chaos Beast Lord, and they are going to be returning to the land of square bases to be used in the Old World, as they are one of the main factions for the revamp of that game. You will have also seen that the Slaves to Darkness are getting a little bit of a chop too. So a lot of the original warbands from the game, alongside a few bits and pieces from Warhammer Underworlds, like Karga's Reavers, as you can see there, are all going to be getting the sack. So the likes of the Splintered Fang, the Unmade, the Corvus Cabal, the Cypher Lords, Iron Golems and stuff. A lot of the things, as I said, from that initial release of Warcry are all going to be going, alongside some of the stuff from some of the additional sets as well. They are all going to be effectively replaced by the new Dark Oath plastic miniatures to be used in your games. It seems a little bit of a shame, because I think these allow you to make some really fascinating and different and diverse Warhammer Slaves to Darkness armies, where you don't have to just fit that kind of barbarian Conan mold. You can go in different ways and use these to represent your marauders and stuff on the tabletop. So yeah, it's a little bit of a shame that they're going the way of the dodo, but hopefully this isn't going to be a sign that Warcry or Underworld is going anywhere anytime soon. We shall have to wait and see. A few other bits and pieces are also going, so some of the older models from the range, a lot of these are Finecast or just not applicable anymore. So the old Sylvaneth Branch Wraith, who was Dryker before she got her upgrade, that's a terrible Finecast model. That's going back to the Old World, alongside, I would imagine, things like Madcap Shaman and the Big Boss and Gigantic Spider. Other models in the range are just being retired and just put out to pasture, as it were, either to be replaced as part of the Old World, or just simply because they need to get new plastic models in the future. We shall have to wait and see. So yes, interesting stuff when it comes to models and what's coming down the pipeline for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Certainly an interesting decision by Games Workshop. They can't make everything forever, sorry, I should say. So I kind of saw this happening for the range going forward. I think a lot of people saw that happening for things like the Savage Orcs and the Beast of Chaos. But it is a bit of a shame to see so much of the old Stormcast stuff going, especially some of the characters, like the Lord Stellar still an amazing model with all those flying hammers around his cloak. He's going to be going, but there we go. A lot of my models are still usable though, which is always nice to see, but it gives me an opportunity to try and approach things from a different point of view when it comes to painting, which is good. So yes, interesting stuff there on the model front, including sort of like looking at what's coming up and what is leaving the range. Let me know what you think of the new Liberators and the way that they have done the designs for them, and also let me know what you think of the armies that are leaving. Do you think it was just something that was bound to happen eventually, and it's good that Games Workshop ripped the band-aid off, or would you prefer for all of these to be available as part of maybe it's like a made-to-order service or something in the future? I suppose everyone has their different thoughts. Let's try and be civil, though, I suppose. I'm going to get ready to dive off and explore another video and maybe get some painting done for the Mortal Realms. But yes, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and we'll get a conversation going about the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.